and site modeling. The previous tutorial shows issues of site modeling. So you'll be doing this in conjunction with that tutorial. I will give you a link to that tutorial. And what are we looking for? In terms of activities, we are supposed to draft our location map. We're supposed to draft our site plan. We're supposed to model our location map and our site plan. The location map has already been modeled, and it's in the previous tutorial. I will not repeat that. The site plan modeling is not so much. The key thing is to identify the beacons and to ground your building. Okay, so that one again, we are going to do it with you. What tools are you going to use? The predominant tools for drafting are the worksheets. The rule of thumb: any 2D work must be done on the worksheets. Okay. We are going to use the view maps to organize our work. The view maps will lead to layouts, and then we are going to publish both in PDF and in BMX. And the site will require your KML file of your site. What deliverables do we need? We need a location map at scale 1 to 500. We need a site plan at scale 1 to 100. We need a contour map. In fact, not a string graph, but a printed one. We need you to consolidate your PDFs into one PDF file. You need to consolidate your BMX document into one file and upload it into your BMX account. We'll want your graphical education file, the ML. Okay? And then the most critical thing is that at this level, we'll be connecting your soft copy work with your hard copy. The PDF that you consolidated or consolidate will need a printout of the same. For the sake of cost, you will print it in A4, in black and white, and most importantly, the physical PDF file must be a replica of the soft copy that you submitted. So without further much ado, I want us to quickly jump into the location map. Now, I've had various tutorials on how to do the location map. We've even done location maps manually. Right now, I want us to consolidate everything with regards to location maps. I'll start by saying that with the advent of technology, nowadays location maps are easier to do. All what you need to do is to look for a satellite map. Okay? And in this case, just a minute. In this case, I want to, at this early stage, compare the various satellite maps. Just a minute. Yeah, I'm trying to open various screens so that you're able to compare certain things. I'm still going to use my site in Makuyu, but at this level, I want us to do some comparisons. Okay? In the various tutorials, I've taught you various tools that you can use to do your survey map, your location map, your satellite map. And what you'll notice with technology is that things change. And I'll give an example. In my previous tutorial, we used Zoom.earth to do this task. Right now, if you go to Zoom.earth, you'll find that it's not possible. And for some of us who are inquisitive, we realize that the number of tools are taking place with Zoom.earth, and they're no longer using what they previously used. And there. Mount their satellite. So as a result, for them right now, they focus on other aspects of satellite, okay? But the clarity that you'll want to enable you be able to see somewhere a clear satellite map nowadays is not possible. Okay? So as a result, there's some differences that you will experience when you zoomed on Earth. You will not be able to zoom in to a level where you are able to see a clear settlement. Okay? So that one knocks out our zoomed on Earth that has been very helpful. But let's proceed on. We can use Google Earth. And as you can see, this is Google Earth. Our site is basically the Don Bosco Primary School. But I'm using this station to get hold of it. The challenge that I personally experienced with Google Map is that it has at times a lot of information. Some information might not be so relevant. And since this work and the mapping is done by individuals through collaboration, at times you find that the information that is put is not right. You have no control of that information. So at times you always find that it's jammed up. For this one, we are lucky it's not that. Okay? But there are times that you want to do a site, realize that that site is completely jammed. So for now, we can work with Google Maps, but as I've said, at times, especially if we're dealing with urban centers, you might find that you have no control of the metadata. So as a result, when you see it, the satellite map does not come out so clear. So that is the second option. An option closely related to Google Maps is the Google Earth. For Google Earth, it has a close relationship with the Google Maps. The only advantage is that you have control. You can choose what you want to show and what you don't want to show. Okay? So with that, at least you have some level of control. In terms of layers, you have some level of control, and you can choose what you want to see. You can choose what you don't want to see. I'll give you an example. If I don't want to see all photos, or if I don't want to see anything, so that I get a clear map, that now it's me placing the information, I can do that. Okay? That gives you an advantage that you have control of the information that you want. Yes. Okay. So let me click them back. Now place my roles and place them. If I want to place the 3D building, though, makes it a bit heavy, and place it. The choice is yours, okay? And that one gives you control, okay? That gives you the same level of control that you will have trying to look for places. You see the places now, all the places are level, okay? So at least you have some level of control there. Let's go back. This the maps that are owned by Microsoft called Bing. Okay? For an inquisitive student, you'll notice that Bing, in terms of graphics, is closely related to what we used to get in Zoom. Simply because they used to overlay Bing. Okay? But now that they've moved out of Bing, then you have an option of choosing the map yourself. Okay? What I always like about Bing is the clarity. You can see there's a lot of clarity in terms of the images. So if you have to quickly draft, you can quickly pick it up. That clarity is Google Maps does not have it clearly. Okay? So the advantage with Google Maps and Google Earth is that it's frequently updated. So again, it's you to choose what you want to work with, but at the end of the day, what we want is that you are able to the location. Now, for me, allow me to use Bing. So if I want my location map, I know where my site is. The essence of a location map is to guide anyone who has never gone to your site to be able to reach to your site without any difficulty. This person with a location map does not need to call you, clarify where the site is. Okay? But rather, he or she should just use the site, the location map, and he or she should be able to go to site. What does that mean? It means that you must give us with clarity various vistas, various landmarks. Okay? And for me, it's always important that you use public landmarks, use schools, use churches, especially the mainstream churches, use hospitals, and there are reasons to this. Okay? You might find that for private landmarks, they change over time. A school is changed into a commercial facility. An apartment is changed into a hospital. All these things happen. So you might find that while the information may be correct right now, maybe a year or two down the line, the information might be misleading. So it's always important that you use public. In my case, if I pick it there, I know where my site is there. I know various landmarks like the Makuyu police station. I know we have the road. You have all these things that are news. So let it be a responsibility to use whatever is presentable to. But the key thing is that your satellite map must be able to focus on what we are doing. Okay, let it not have about a lot of irrelevant information. Okay? So for me, I would want to use this. There are various ways of screen grabbing. One of them is by using the sniping tool. What I know is that at times they are not so much compatible with this screen recording tools, but let's give it a try, okay? So I can take the whole full screen. It has been taken. Let us see whether that's beautiful. We have it. So with my sniping tool, I already have a clear location. I have a location map that shows the main road, the highway. I can see where I access. I know where my site is. And from the various supplementary tools, I can get my vistas, okay? So all what I need to do is to save. So let me save this. So I will call it my location map. Okay. So I've already gotten the basic ingredients to location. The other ingredient that I'll need is my site plan. Okay. So for the site plan, again, the options that I have are two. So mean, Okay. Again, that is my site. But again, remember that we need dimensions of the site, okay? The bit is that in the previous tutorial I've done it, so allow me to use my tutorial, my whatever on Google Earth. So as you can see, we have already mapped the extent of our site. Okay. To the best of my knowledge, I think we have even placed it in Africa. So for me, you already have the relevant information that will be needed for site. The only thing that might be missing, which might not be important for this tutorial, would be that they will be needed to map all the existing facilities. So by the time you are doing our addition, you're able to show the existing facilities, you're able to show the new facilities. But that one would be a level 3 or 4 BIM. So for now, let's just assume that the site is blank. All what you are doing, you're just placing a new facility. So as a result, that would surface for now for our site. Okay. So far we have those cardinal documents. Okay. The only thing that maybe I might want to pick up at this level, critical, because you need to show how you got your contours. So with the contour map creator, I'm able to just reduce the size. Again, as you can see, it's the same whatever, but it's Makuyu. So here is our site. Okay. The key things that you need, the contours of our site. So as I had previously shown, you need to generate for us a contour map where your site takes not more than 10%. Would be something that I will do. And by now you know how to generate this. Click the northwest, the southeast, get data, that data, and options to make sure that you use the level interval. Let's put meters and see what we are getting. So this is what I had used, okay? So again, just need to whatever the screen, just need to grab the screen and for the screen, ensure that the information about your site, especially level interval, is also shown. Okay, so that you don't work twice. When you don't do that, you find yourself forget. You will be having lots and lots of this. Along the way, you might find yourself having forgotten. Okay? This contour map is what generates your KML. I believe you have seen how to generate it. So you just need to generate the KML. I don't do it again because I already have one in Google. Okay? And then the KML to help it generate the KMZ. So there's a lot of linkage between these things that if you're not able to master them at this early stage, it would be difficult for you. So ensure that you have those 3 resources: satellite for your location map of the overall site. Ensure that you have the satellite for the contours. Ensure that you have the KMZ file. From the KML, the KMZ of your site, you have gone and mapped your site correctly. As a result, you have all those documents, okay? So with those, let's quickly go to drafting. As I had mentioned, you look at the previous tutorial, we had learned how to do our modeling, so I will not repeat all that again. Only thing that I might be forced to repeat or not even repeat. As I've said, 2D documents should always be done on worksheets. So I'll create a worksheet and call it location. I will import, first of all, the location must show the bigger scale, maybe 1 to 1000. I will import my image. I want my image for the location. So I'll put it. There it is. There's something I forgot, which I need to maybe go back and handle. I forgot to place the scale. Okay, so let's go back and see if we get it. Scale is there. I don't know why it was not picked up. Let's check. Maybe it's there. Yeah, it was hidden by this document. So allow me to do it again. Swipe again. Okay. So this time I'll make sure that my screen is clear. And apply the full screen mode. So say new. There it is. Let's look at it. Yes, it has that information. So let us save it. As I said, always strive not to overwrite your work. You might overwrite something and then realize later that right wrong. Okay? So allow me again this. Now that I have my location, fixing myself up. This is more of a site plan. I had moved my zone, so that is what I am looking for. Okay, that's our site. You can see all the various things. So again, allow me to slide. So this will be version 3. You'll see I'm not writing anything. I'm just placing the various versions. So with that, let us again delete this and place. Always use the drawing tool, not the figure tool. Also, the drawing tool, there's a lot of manipulations you can do that a figure tool does not give you. Okay, so there we have it. You can see our site. You can see the main things that we are looking for. Most importantly, I can see the scale. Okay, so the first thing that I'll do will be to scale this photo. And it's a very straightforward exercise. You use a resize tool. And I know that is what 200 meters is. So all what I need to do is to select everything and then our size. By now you should be knowing the shortcuts. The size Control K. And of importance is this distance. That distance from there to there is 200 meters. Okay. And if I just measure again, just measure there to there, it's 200 meters. Okay. So that tells me that my satellite map is well scaled. Now, the key thing at this level that you need to start, even before you start drafting, the key thing at this level is that you need to determine the correct scale that will fit your sheet of paper. For us, we are very clear. If you look at the document, you're supposed to fit it. Okay, you're given the scale and an A3. But what happens when that does not, one of them has to take precedence? So my find a situation where the 1500 is not fitting or is smaller than your A3, or we might find that for you to fit in an A3, it will be a different scale. So for me, it will be, the critical thing will be to move, just a minute. So for me, the critical thing will be to fit this one for now in an A3. So how do we do that? We'll ensure that you create, you can even call this one site and location map and site plan. Okay. And provisionally, a scale 1 to 1000, just allow me to save. So if I save it, it will put all the relevant information and it will create. But what is important to me is, for us, we are very clear. If you look at the document, we are supposed to fit it. Okay, you have given the scale and an A3. But what happens when that does not, one of them has to take precedence? So you might find a situation where the 1500 is not fitting or is smaller than your A3, or you might find that for you to fit in an A3, it will be a different scale. So for me, it will be, the critical thing will be to move, just a minute. So for me, the critical thing will be to fit this one for now in an A3. So how do we do that? We'll ensure that you create, you can even call this one site and location map and site plan. Okay. And provisionally at scale 1 to 1000, just allow me to save. So if I save it, it will put all the relevant information and it will create. But what is important to me is my sheet of paper. By now, you know how to create your A3 master layout. I will not spend time there. Kindly go create your master layout, and most importantly, link it to a printer so that at the end of the day, we have the actual size of the printout. As you can see, it has adjusted itself. Again, as I've said, I will not spend so much time here. So for me, I'll just do a basic title block. But for you, you need to spend time and do an interesting and creatively done title block. Okay, so for me, allow me to use that. And it's an A3. So what I want to do
is to create a subset that I'll call it location map and site plan. And in the subset, I will put a sheet on location map. So you can see these are things that I'm sorting out beforehand, before I do a lot of work, only for me to realize later that it's work in vain, okay? So I will place my drawing, already have it there, its location. Maybe my interest will be at this level, I can even cut off what I don't want. Allow me to remove the title for the time being. We'll revisit it. I might not want the information about what I have down there. I might not need this information. So all what you need to do is just to cut off what you don't need. By now, you know how to cut off these things, okay? Or since you had already scaled it, you can remove this altogether. The choice is yours at this level. Remember, you had already scaled it, okay? So, if I fit it to, as you can see, for me to fit that into an A3, it's around 6,000, scale of 1 6,000. And since this one is not a standard, whatever, standard scale, the next best scale will be just the one that is immediately smaller to this. So allow me to adjust the scale here from 1,000 to 10,000. 10,000 is not recorded as a standard scale, so you put as one of the custom scales. So I know without doubt that, and allow me to update this. I know without doubt that this satellite map will easily fit into my A3, okay? So with that, I need to start doing the relevant things. I need to start labeling, can label my school. And by now you should have predefined. These are things I talked about. By now you should have created your standards. Your pens must be in order. So ensure that your pen weights are consistent to what you had created based on the previous tutorials. So this is where my post site. So that is cool. Using the fill tool, you should be able to quickly show your roads. Okay. So again, it requires a bit of patience. Just allow me just to do a portion so that for you now you'll be able to do everything. Again, as I said, this one, we are doing this because we are learning from basics. I'm dealing with a student who is interacting with this tool for the first time or has experience that is not more than 1 year, okay? At the advanced levels, you'll find that there are quicker ways of doing these things. So I know you'll not be perfect. That's why I've not done mine in perfection, but you need to start learning this art, okay? So allow me to use maybe 75%. Yeah, now at least we can see a road there. And I need to do the same or these are the roads, so I'll not do everywhere. But I want you to improve your quality of drafting as we move on, okay? So at the end of the day, when you're given such simple tasks, you're able to do them without so much struggle. I've said mine is not so perfect. I expect yours to have some level of fineness, despite you doing it maybe for the first time. So you'll handle your roads that way. So I've just done a portion of the road. You label these roads using the text tool. So like this one is ensure that when you're doing these things, your fonts should not be that big, okay? So in my case, 3 will surface. So we're using trebuchet, so let me continue with that. What I'm trying to train you, my friends, that you need to be in charge of your narrative, okay? So you should be able to label what you need to label. This road, okay, you also label that road. As you can see, I've started labeling my vistas. So suppose we have, I know there's another school here. So let's just call it school A. Let's assume this one's are coffee plantations. Sisal, I know the plantations, not necessarily coffee. So if you know the name, just label it. You know there's a police station somewhere down here. Let's assume it's this one. So I'll come and label it, Makui Police Station. Near our school, we have a Catholic church, because the Catholic church down that sponsoring the school. So I can pick it. Let's assume it's this one. I'm not so sure, but let's assume it's that one. So in exercise, I want you to do at least 10 vistas. Let's have at least 10 public facilities that anytime you want to refer to this, you'll be able to do it, okay? One thing you'll realize, due to the color, they are not being read, so you must create a contrasting background. For my labels, I have 2 ways. I can opt to create an opaque background and ensure that the font is white. Let's see what we'll get there. As you can see now, those ones, at least you can read them. Okay, so these are the skills you need to learn to enable you to do proper presentation drawings for the location map. Let's not forget to put the outline of our site. The visit at scale 1 to 1000, it's quite a small thing. So I don't need to do it with exact perfection, but at least it should conform, okay? So there it is. I can give it a different color. the key thing is that your work should be able to communicate. So for me, that is progress, okay? That is progress, and it's not complete, but at least we can save that one as a location map, okay? One important thing that you are forgetting is the compass. The bridge that this one is north, so let's just place a compass. It's advisable to use the embedded compasses, so just search for north. And there it is. Make sure that the settings are okay. I'm going to use that one for the time being. Let it follow project north. If I place my compass, again, you can see you need to create contrast, okay? So that contrast can be created by the pen types that you use. Instead of the blacks on whatever, you can use lighter, okay? So let's see if we can get those lighter pens. Here we are. So I can deliberately change my fonts to be white. Let's say okay. So as you can see, by just changing that, the work is able to communicate. So with that, we have a location map. Allow me to quickly place it on our layout book. So remember, you had already tried it to help us get the scale. So what I need to do now is to place the actual location map. I talked about the label. I normally prefer the linear one. Then the pens should be in black. Okay. So if I say okay, that is sorted, but a number of things are not right. So how do I sort them out? The first thing I sort out is by fitting it to layout. As you can see, again, slightly under 10,000. So if I say okay, it will be placed for me, but I now need to revert to my 10,000. It's 100%. That will ensure that my drawing is centrally placed without any effort into my slide. Issue number 2, I have to make sure that the settings for my title are okay. So the example is that this dimension, I don't want it there, okay? So at least I have some that is showing that. And then the last thing, there's some information that are not relevant to me at this level. So I can use the drawing tool to hide them. The drawing tool. Okay. So as you can see, I have a location. Okay. So as you can see again, I'm putting it in my A3, and as you can clearly see, for me to fit it into an A3, I have to use maybe scale 1 to 5,000. Let's just go and change it and see what happens. So let's go to open source view. Let's change it to 1 to 5,000. As you can see, definitely the sizes of the row will change, but for me, it's still communicating. So let me just, I will not change this one. I'll just save another one and call it location map at scale 1 to 5,000. So let me even not delete this one. Let me just create a clone of it and now save the 1 to 5,000 and see what happens. Now, this is the beauty about these tools. Once you have the base information, you can manipulate them and get 100 different versions of the same thing, okay? So now what I can do, I can work backwards. Let me remove all the things that, in my opinion, are irrelevant. Once I've removed them, let me scale it to my sheet and see what you are getting. still almost 1 to 75 something. There it is. But I have to use a standard scale. In our case, it's 1 to 5,000. So let me take it back to 1 to 5,000 and see what we are getting. As you can see, you are getting a drawing that's relatively huger than our sheet. But you'll notice that there's some information that even if we hide, we lose nothing. So if I hide that, I will lose nothing. If I hide a portion of that, I will lose nothing. So let me even move this one up there. What might guide me in terms of moving is this. So for you, remember you even have a title block. So let me move it up somewhere there. Okay. And then we might not need a lot of this information. Makuyu police station, it might be critical. So those are the things that you need to make a decision on. Okay, so as you can see, Makuyu is critical, but is the whole road critical? No. So what I can do, I can move it down. So as you can see, I'm moving down so that I just see a little of the highway and I see my Makuyu. Okay, so right now I have the Makuyu police station. I can see it, there it is. I have my main highway. I have my road. However, what you'll notice that some of my information is getting hidden. So I can correct that by opening it with the layout as a reference. Well, it will not be very successful with the drawings, but what I'm being told is to move this somewhere. So if I move that one, let's go back to our layout. So as you can see, we are now good to go. I have my location map. It's in an A3 sheet of paper, and I've properly filled the sheet using a correct scale. So allow me to do the last part. The last part is publishing. Publishing, we have various forms of publishing. So let me just publish my location. So under the publishing properties, I will save the file. Okay. I can upload it as a BMX. I can print it. You have all those options. So it's you to select which one works for you. Okay. You want a single file? Use a single file. Do you want it as a BMX? Do you want it as a PDF? We'll do both of them. So in this case, I want it as a PDF. Okay. So once I say okay, I have my location. I'll call it PDF. Now within this location, I will place my layouts, and you do that using the organizer. So once you've selected the organizer, you basically organize, okay? I want my location map at scale 1 to 50, this one, maybe 1 to 5,000. I want this one to be published. So I'll just drag a copy there. Okay. Then since I also wanted a BMX, I can clone the same and call it BMX. And under publisher settings, I'll come and change the format to a BMX file. Okay, so if I say okay, it's the same document, but being published in 2 different ways. Okay, so once I've done that, so I have a BMX, and if I open it, you'll see the BMX, that preview shows that that's a BMX file. Let's open PDF, that's a PDF, okay? So with that, I've used the organizer. So all what I need to do is to publish. So I can simultaneously publish the two. So if I say publish, before I publish, I need to check where I've saved them, okay? So allow me to change the path. And my path, I hope I can make it, is Manuel Lectures 2023, April, year M2B tutorials. So change that path. As you can see the name, I need to change also the name of my document to be location map. Let's look at the properties of this one too. I might have to change the location also. So let's go to lecture classes 2023, April, BIM, tutorials. So if I say okay. So okay. So in terms of where they will be published now, it's correct. Okay. So I just need to select them, and then make sure that I have published the selected items, and then I publish. So this publishing palette will show you how it's being published. As you can see, it's publishing the second one. Once that's finished, you say close. If you want to double check whether everything is fine, just click, you see it was successful, or successful, or successful. Okay. So if I close, I will have finished my publishing. What I want us to do, I want us to quickly check what you have published to see whether it's making sense. Let's go to where you have published. As you can see, we have our two documents there. We have published a PDF. Okay, we have published a BMX. Okay, so let us just look at both of them. As you can see, I have my PDF that is very clear, apart from 2 or 3 errors, but I can see my roads, I can see my vistas, I can see every other thing. Okay, so this is what you'll go and print. Okay, let's look at the other PDF at BMX. Now I want to take time and learn how to use the BMX tool. In my next tutorial, I'll show you how to upload it. But for now, as you can see, I can open my BMX tool. It's just similar to the PDF at this level because you have not placed the 3D things, but within it, I can review my work, okay, and check if everything's okay. So I think with that, we'll have covered so much ground in terms of the work plan. We have done the location using the worksheets, using the view map, the location, the publisher, the KML, that's the previous whatever. So I've done our location map. Let's agree that the scale might change, the critical things that it must fit in an A3, okay? Maybe in my next tutorial, I'll sit down and do the site plan, okay? And place the contour map so that at the end of the day, we're able to do that. I will even try and join it up with the modeling so that we are able to have a presentation that has everything. So for now, allow me to stop here. Thank you, and have a good day.